every time I think I must reduce it so that people don't feel stressed to read it. So somehow or other I forget it. So thanks a lot for your generous support.
No, it's such a pleasure to read it. I feel so privileged to read it, because I feel proud to be an Odia and, a co-Odia like you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this privilege.
Yeah, it's really kind of you and OCF to invite me, because when I got a call from Behra sir and also OCF, so my first question was, where do I fit in there? Because I'm not an entrepreneur. And I have never tried also entrepreneurship, because I feel that is something very charismatic, and people, those who are dynamic, those who have got very highly creative mindset and to passion to do something, they venture into entrepreneurship, and you must be little adventurous also. And we are basically little low risk taking people. So as a result of which we have chosen to take a very middle path or very safe path for our career. So I hats off to you and all the colleagues here who have taken up entrepreneurship as their profession or career or their life course, whatever way you can say. But I must congratulate for showing that extra mile of courage and the grit to do something. So my congratulations to each one of you. Be a budding entrepreneur and established entrepreneur who are trying to build the mentoring of or mentorship of entrepreneurship. So a hearty congratulations to all of you. And coming to, I still don't, Behra sir was telling me that maybe the entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurs will interact with you. So before that, I must say that because previously, to be honest, I never thought entrepreneurship has got such a great opportunity in Indian context, in fact, in Odisha context. But with slowly over a period of last 5 years, after I joined this ICMR Institute, I can feel that there is a very strong requirement and need. And what I see is also day by day, this need is growing. And COVID-19 has made it more acute and more perceived than before. Why I'm saying, I'm just giving, I will just narrate my experience with this COVID-19. All of us know that this whole pandemic started. Maybe I can switch it because there is heavy rain, so its network is disturbing. So what happened is that when the pandemic started in the month of January or December, and February onwards, slowly it started percolating to India. And in Odisha, we got it in March. So I will just briefly describe about my institute, that is a Regional Medical Research Center. And RMRC is here in Bhubaneswar for the last 4 decades. In fact, we completed 40 years this 2021. It was laid down way back in 1981. And for these 4 decades, though we have been doing a lot of medical research, a lot of support to the state, but never ever we have found ourselves in such a challenging position this time. Though we had contributed a lot in H1N1, dengue, so many and so forth. But this was a very, I would say, testing time for all of us. Why? The first thing was that the virus was novel. Nobody knew how the virus looks like, how the virus behaves, what is its outcome, how it is transmitted. I mean, there were so many mysteries surrounding this novel coronavirus. In fact, that's the name. It is COVID-19, or initially, if you remember, it was called novel coronavirus. Why novel? Because no one knew anything about it. So basically, it was kind of a groping in the dark, what to do about it. And then came how to diagnose. Because unless you diagnose or unless you identify this infection is due to COVID or this due to novel coronavirus, it is very difficult to isolate and treat. So here came the role of, as I was saying, the need for having Make in Odisha or Make in India or entrepreneurship or being self-sufficient. I vividly remember on March, since we are the regional VRDL, we were asked to start the testing of COVID-19, and our scientists got trained in the VRDL, that is Virus Research Diagnostic Lab. At that time, we were the only lab in March to do COVID-19 testing. Why? because other labs had to develop their biosafety level. So this is something that's very important because such a novel virus or such a virulent virus, you cannot test it in normal circumstances. You need adequate amount of or adequate level of biosafety to do this diagnosis. So slowly we expanded, but as we expanded or as we started increasing the number of testing, the most, the first challenge was getting the raw materials, that is the diagnostic kit. It was, I remember, because USA stopped exporting. Majority of, at that time, our RNA extraction kit and our RT-PCR kit, all were coming from abroad. I remember it. Only some chemicals were from India, but majority were coming from abroad. At that time, all the countries, they stopped exporting because they had to cater to their own country. So then we could feel that we must be self-sufficient because we must manufacture or we must prepare our own kits so that we don't have to depend on others. So then all of you might have heard about the MyLab and other different companies. They came out with this RT-PCR kit and synthesizing the raw materials so that if you, initially the RT-PCR kit price was around say 1,200 or 1,500 or 2,500. Now it has gone down to around 400, right? Because of the increased supply as well as demand is there. But once the raw material, once the kits are more, manufactured more, automatically the cost goes down. And not only that, in Odisha, if you see now all the district headquarter hospitals have got RT-PCR facility. At that time, not even a single machine was being available, because demand was very high, but slowly every company in India started building that or manufacturing their own machine. And this is how I feel that health has never been considered as one of a fertile ground or as one of an opportunity for entrepreneurship. But COVID-19 has made me at least realize that entrepreneurship and health can go hand in hand and can be mutually fruitful or mutually productive. For example, the rapid antigen kit. I'm just giving one example. Initially, we were depending upon RT-PCR or lab-based kit, but then we thought of how can we do it field-based diagnostic. So then came the thought of having a rapid antigen in the field. So that is, again, another entrepreneurship thought wherein we can manufacture or we can produce rapid antigen kit to have screening at the door level or at the, I would say, in the field level. So these are the different improvisation, then antibody, then came the genomic sequencing. So if you see the whole COVID-19, then comes different drugs, repurposing of drugs, then monoclonal antibodies. So what I'm saying is that all these inventions or all these therapeutic and diagnostic or preventive, whatever measures we have experienced during this COVID-19 journey has taught us one thing, is that during this pandemic, we have become not only confident, but also slowly we are evolving as a self-sufficient or a self-empowered community and a country. And in this role, my suggestion to all those budding entrepreneurs would be to think of disruptive technology. Means, for example, say there is a why I'm saying there is principle. For example, if you look at laser, I'm giving one example of laser. Laser initially was made for something else, but now laser is being used vividly or is being very widely in medical sector. So we have to identify certain principles or certain technologies which are used in other sectors, but they can be adapted. I would say it is adaptive technology, how we can bring in different technologies from other sectors and adapt it for improving healthcare or for preparing healthcare devices, medical devices, diagnostics or therapeutics. So that is how I think some amount of entrepreneurship or some amounts of creativity needs to go into. Like one example of MRI. MRI was for one purpose, but now MRI is being primarily used for diagnosis. So similarly, we need to think of different technology, different principles, different drones. For example, drone was for some other purpose. Now drones are being used to deliver vaccines in hard to reach areas. Now drones can be used for mosquito surveillance in dengue. So how can we, the principle is same, but how can we convert the principle into a technology, and how that technology can be converted to a devices, to a gadget, or to a method, so that we improve the health. I mean, basically, because I come from public health background, so I would, whatever I would be saying it is related to healthcare. For example, artificial intelligence. Now they are using artificial intelligence. All the smartphones are based on AI or artificial intelligence. But how can we use artificial intelligence for diagnosis or for checking the X-ray? Now we are doing a big project where we are using artificial intelligence to diagnose TB. Just looking at the digital X-ray, the artificial intelligence can say whether it is tuberculosis or not, so that manual interference is slowly reduced. And even if it is a remote area where there is no doctor, using AI, one can know whether it's TB or not. So it's not that every time we have to invent new things. It's there are technology available, there are techniques available. How can we adopt and adapt? That is where I think entrepreneurship, really needs to be put in. Yeah, I would like to interact and take some questions and discuss rather than speaking monotonously or doing a monologue. What do you suggest? I would suggest you.
So I was just, when you were discussing about all those, scientific inventions. So it's one very good thing you also said, and how can new entrepreneurs can take this idea is the research which you are doing. How can they then improvise those researches in the multi-sectoral field? As you said, drones were made for some other reason, because currently they are delivering vaccines. Somewhere the drones are actually used for throwing fertilizers on the large fields. So drone have multiple use. So I think I will would tell everyone, whoever we are here, is that yes, the researches that you have made, the science have been making, the scientists like you are making. Now we entrepreneurs need to have a close contact with you and understand how can further we will improvise those and start making something that is for commonly can be used for the benefit of the entire community. With this, I think I would ask the other team members of OCF to come forward and put their questions.
And then another thing we can think of this OCF is having some kind of incubation center, some kind of startup innovation hub, so that it can be jointly, like you have ideas, we can only tell you the problem and then you have ideas. So when ideas and problem they join and there is technology to solve it, then I think it is unstoppable. So somehow or other we need to connect with each other, and then the synergy can happen. So I think this OCF is a great platform to attract ideas and to join ideas with problems, so that the solution is there.
No, you are perfectly correct, ma'am, in this. I agree with your point. And thus I would request...
I'm just giving one example of this ITI and CPET. What happened is that we were looking for how to bring our kids from the truck to the labs. So what they made some kind of trolleys with the wheels, so that easily anyone can bring there is very small improvisation, but it really helped the lab work go smoothly like anything. Similarly, they made magnetic stands for because initially we had a lot of problems. We didn't have kits, we didn't have a lot of logistic issues were there. And I must thank different engineering institutes coming forward to help. And some helped us with the deep freezer, how to maintain the temperature of deep freezer with their computer-made algorithm. So what I'm saying is that health is something where there is space for everybody.
Absolutely correct, ma'am. Absolutely correct. And this is a sector where a lot of innovation has come in. And think about our healthcare system before a few years and think where we are today. It is amazing, and the day is not very far when I've seen one of sci-fi movies where you get into that box and all your diseases are cured. It is robotic, and AI has come up has come up and will come up very vastly in medical segment. So yes, you are absolutely correct, and people like you will guide and mentor those who wanted to.
What I'm saying, I'm just sorry for interrupting. One of our scientists, he had got a medical innovation grant. I'm just telling you, of course, in the hindsight. So he had developed a T-shirt. He was working on a T-shirt which will measure the ECG and heart rate and your respiration rate. So at that time, I was not very impressed. I told, why are you making such kind of T-shirt? Why it will be used? A doctor is there. Can the doctor check the blood pressure and heart, and that any patient will wear a T-shirt? But when it came COVID and no doctor wanted to go to visit a patient, so there the T-shirt actually came into use. I mean, we could have, we are now thinking of scaling it up so that a patient can wear it and doctor can remotely see his ECG, his heart rate and his pulse rate and his oxygen. So that is something we never thought of it. So contactless healthcare is something that has got future, because this may not be the only one pandemic. We may see more such viruses where contactless healthcare has got tremendous future.
True. Agree, ma'am. Agree. So I think, Dr. Meena Viswal is here and Dr. Neena Singh is here. Any one of you have your inputs, ma'am? Can you please? Dr. Pati is here to, to enlighten more. Can I call Dr. Meena? Dr. Indu Prabha? I think, I think Geeta ma'am is there. Geeta Patra ma'am. Yeah. Here you are, ma'am. Dr. Meena, please.
Good evening. I am Dr. Meena Biswal and I am from Odisha, from SCV Medical College, and I was working in ONGC Bombay. And recently I have retired and joined Rotary Club of New Panvel, president of Rotary Club of New Panvel. So it was a very good that this workshop was organized, and we all ladies and entrepreneurs, if we can learn and do many good work for the society. If we want to do something to do, we can always learn and do more. So thank you for organizing for a nice workshop so that everybody will encourage to learn and do for the society also. Thank you.
I agree, Meena, Dr. Meena, that yes. So what we I would love to hear further from others, and then I think we should come to a conclusion here where I would ask Dr. Neena Singh if she can give her opinion on this, please. And if she has certain things to ask to Dr. Pati, then she is here with us. Dr. Neena Singh?
I'm really sorry that I joined very late. So only when ma'am was telling about the T-shirt, I entered the meeting. I'm very sorry about it.
Not at all, ma'am. So ma'am was basically, into research and this. So she was talking about how these innovations, I was telling her that all this research and innovation, what she has been doing, how can we actually use it to create more entrepreneurship ecosystem and healthcare entrepreneurs. So we would like to hear more from you also, Dr. Neena.
Yeah, I think I am very new to. I'd like to introduce myself here. Basically, I was an Odisha Administrative Service Officer, OS officer for 12 years. And then I resigned and joined JSPL as DGM. And I worked for a very short stint of 2 years. And then I entered into core agriculture. I'm into natural pearl farming. Cultured pearl farming, yeah. And of late, I'm involved with stevia farming and stevia product development side.
So where is that stevia is growing here, ma'am? Please enlighten us.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Like stevia, it's in India, it's not used so much. Very few only people know it. Huh?
I know. So I absolutely asked which corner you are hiding the stevia and promoting it and cultivating.
Actually, I'm not hiding. Actually, I was prepared for the market, but the COVID struck. So I couldn't launch my product. So,
but where is stevia that is growing here, ma'am? In India or in Odisha you are doing it?
Odisha itself, we are growing, and we have a variety that I think it's the best variety in India because our concentration is much more stevia side in comparison to those available in government also, in Palampur and also.
Something, see, we got something new from this platform today. The stevia is, I only knew that stevia is grown in Europe and, been used largely as an organic sugar at that place.
Yeah, the thing, it needs to grow more. Like there is a gap in extraction thing. So it's not growing.
Something new we learned today.
So what's the
Lovely.
use? Sorry for my ignorance. How it is used?
Ma'am?
How it is used? Sorry for my ignorance. How it is used?
Oh, stevia, it's a natural sweetener.
Oh, great. Acha, okay. Huh.
Yeah. So it's a herbal based sweetener. So if you use, it's found in the liquid form also, we make it available. In leaf also, crude form. And what we have done now is we have blended tea with stevia.
Oh, great. Acha.
So you don't need to add sugar
No,
additional.
that's right, because diabetes, in fact, India is the capital of diabetes. So that is something if you can really link it into how it is going to improve their health and how it is going to improve their diabetes control and all that.
Definitely.
That's I didn't know. That's a great thing.
Yeah. Actually, so we will start marketing from now onwards. Like we are ready with the pack and everything. And we participated in the MSME fair, and after that again lockdown shut down. This thing is going on, so we are not able to market till now.
So that's interesting. I didn't know. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Lovely to hear, Dr. Neena. Now, I would like to hear more from Dr. Indu Prabha Samal, if she had some points to add to this conversation. Dr. Indu Prabha? I think Dr. Indu Prabha is saying she's a principal in Dharmashala. I was just reading out Dharmasala Mahila Degree Mahavidyalaya Dharmasala, Jajpur, Odisha. Okay, so she is having some internet problem. Okay, ma'am, thank you, Dr. Indu. Dr. Meena Biswal has spoken to us now. Can we speak to get some input from Ms. Madhu Mahapatra, please? Madhu, ma'am?
Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your inputs and your thoughts.
Ma'am, actually, entrepreneurship, in every field we can use it, like even in education also. Like suppose we are providing some kits to the special child. Okay. In that, we should include the things which are related to their current study material. Like if we are using occupation therapy kits, like the I think that is rubber band and all these things we should gather in a box or anything else. But before that, we should take it into the mainstream school and let them know that all these things can happen with and including the parents and the particular child.
Hello. आपका फोन है क्या?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Madhu, ma'am. Hear you.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
Okay. So I said that in this line, the autistic people, the special kids, they can learn remotely within their surrounding, if it is provided outside the school or from any other sources. Because in the mainstream school, we actually noticed that they are teaching these people like other normal child. So they should use these kids while they are teaching this child. So in this line, if anyone interested in providing these kids to then it will be good for them, the particular group of people.
Sure, Madhu ma'am. We will, forum is here and I think they will look into it. Thank you for this. Anyone else I would just like to ask and bring, their point here for how do we empower entrepreneurs? How do we build this medical ecosystem and take help of, genius people like Dr. Pati, and further Dr. Pati was also saying incubation centers related to medicine, field of medicine and medical. Anyone else would like to speak? I have Roshni ji here, Mr. Rama Rao here, Prashant ji here. Anybody? Then I would ask anyone who's coming up. So it seems, so I'll ask Dr. Behra, Mr. Behra to, say some things on this line and then we'll conclude. Mr. Behra? Sir?
Dr. Behra is there. I'm HK Behra. I'm not doctor. I'm Mr. Behra.
Sir.
No, thanks to Dr. Lukumadra madam and Patti madam, Dr. Patti madam, and it's just a beginning. And our principal advisor Upinder Tripathi to Education Department, who is recently taken charge of advice to Chief Minister on the education line. He wanted, actually we should know 2-3 things. One is the investment in women empowerment and education. One. Second is medical education and medical services. How would you look forward next decades in Odisha? In that context, I requested Patti madam, Dr. Patti madam, that you can arrange series of 2-3 webinars. Our doctors, our professionals in doctor line across the globe, we can discuss in this area line so that they can take forward with the white approach paper, getting the input from all of us across the globe and place before the Chief Minister or a government of Odisha. In that context, I look forward any inputs, and he agreed to associate it, give some time with us and take forward it. Dr. Patti madam, can you give some how we are going to arrange?
Today morning only I had a long discussion with Ashok. So basically we are planning to divide it into so that everybody is interested or everybody feels a part of this whole webinar rather than thinking it's that passive. So I mean it should be of interest for each participant to some extent. So what we have divided is that one will be on public health within the COVID-19 pandemic, how medical education should also look at public health. I mean not only treating but also in a broader sense. That will one, that is public health and research. Then second will be technology. Someone will speak on technology with respect to medical education, particularly how technology has enabled and technology can be a game changer in not only, for example, nowadays there are simulation labs have come up. I mean, people don't need to do surgery in live human body. They can do a simulation and see how a surgery is being done so that by the time they touch the patient, their hands are set over the simulation models. Then third will be entrepreneurship in medical education, because till now medical health has never been considered in terms of entrepreneurship. So one talk will be on entrepreneurship. And fourth will be kind of looking at, I would say, social and how medical education can be at a very societal level, address the societal needs also. So that is what we are planning, but I need to look for that, a good speaker who can really connect medical education with societal change.
Madam, good. Recently, I had a talk of a couple of doctors from Hyderabad, doctors from Delhi, doctors who are hospital industries. They are, along with the doctor, they are also doing a lot of professionalism, hospital management. And recently, Dr. Swaroop Mishra from Kenya, He's managing 3 hospitals. Both husband and wife are doctor. They're telling lot of scopes, not only education, but in doctor line.
Yes.
And the
Healthcare
technology.
management and hospital management. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also essentially because we should do it so that Odisha is a climatically place, good place, connectivity, so that our people are cheaper, our doctor, we have a large number of doctors, so that we can create an ecosystem, so that tomorrow we can create employability. That is my thought process.
Okay.
So that we together actually, since Upen Tripathi has agreed to give some time, and whatever input he can collect, he can put before the August government, that take forward these aspects, and they can look into that aspect. That's my thought process.
Okay, I will
And,
discuss it again with Ashok regarding this healthcare management and how can we make it medical tourism and healthcare management. Because India has again become a hub for a medical tourism, so why not Odisha? Like the way Andhra Pradesh has been.
Absolutely correct, madam. Absolutely correct what you said. So, Behra sir?
yes.
And another thing which can be this manufacture of this essential diagnostics, essential like drugs, the way Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Kadila, and all the farms are there in Odisha. So how can we have such kind of pharmaceutical, particularly pharmaceutical, industry in Odisha? I mean, doctors,
Yeah.
we need pharmacologists for that.
Yeah, actually, some of the experts, they say that our Odisha climate is good. Like tourism, hospitality, even your pharmacy, that it's a great opportunity there. Only thing is now our people has a experience working in different part of the countries in the world. And if we can create some ecosystem and with the government of Odisha, so that they can return back, they can do something in the state of Odisha. That's my thought process, madam. And I appeal to Dr. Patti madam and Dr. That if somewhat we can do in 2-3 series of webinar, so that we can do something for the people of Odisha and give some ideas to the Odisha government.
No, you are right, sir, that, we have to do series of webinar and I'm noting it down and pharmaceuticals. It's a big industry, and I once was working in Baddi, which is a huge area for all the pharmaceutical companies. So yes, such kind of investment we can bring it to India, we can bring it to Odisha as well. And when we are talking about AI interventions in medical equipment, stimulus, as ma'am was saying. This webinar should actually focus on such topics, and women in these kind of webinars should again focus, as the government, honorable government of Odisha's vision of bringing women entrepreneurs more in such sectors, so we can focus on that part as well in our webinars. So yes, Behra sir, we will be going ahead. We will be organizing such kind of webinars where we will focus and on these areas and bring such expertise who can throw more light, and then we can also form a forum kind of a thing, a group kind of a thing, where people, those who are interested in the healthcare sector and innovation in healthcare, entrepreneurs who wants to move ahead in healthcare sector can form this group, and then we can have an idea sharing, and then we will take it further from there. If you agree, Behra sir, in this idea.
No, I'm agreed actually. That's why Dr. Upendra Tripathi he shown the great interest. Dr. Sourav Mishra from Kenya, he has shown interest, and a lot of doctors in Hyderabad. Not only there are doctors, they are the whole hospital management. They are managing 4-5 hospitals. So they are telling Odisha climatically good, pharmaceutical can be done well, then hospital tourism can be second part. So that if we can think of make a think tank for the Odisha government on the hospital industry and area of hospital, so that some of the entrepreneur can do, and some of we can handle them also by our, having expertise over the countries. That's my thought.
Absolutely better, sir. आपण ठीक कहले एवं आसंता समय रे भी हमें चेष्टा करिबा जे एई वेबिनार गुडा को एई थीम बेस्ड करिबा एवं फार्मा रे केमते हे परबो मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट ऊपर केमते हे परबो हॉस्पिटल मैनेजमेंट ऊपर मेडिकल टूरिज्म ऊपर केमते हे परबो हमें से विषय चिंता करबा गोटे थिंक टैंक को सृष्टि करबा जहा द्वारा कि हमें एई सेक्टर रे ओडिसा को केमिति आगु बढ़े कि नै परबा से विषय डिस्कशन करबा. So thank you so very much, Bhaira sir. If you permit, if anybody else have any point, we would love to listen. Or if you permit, we will close this session. Anyone would like to put their point forward?
Please come forward. Please come forward. Anybody want to speak? 2 lines.
Biswanath?
No. Motasir lagi mona ko meeting ke पीछे दे क्या करता था कौन बैक नहीं वो आउटर से सही लिंक में आउटर जाओ ना बैक सीसीके विश्वनाथ हो
So I think Vishwanath Babu is, in another conversation. So anybody else, I would, try to Tisha Agri Ventures here with us as well. If Tisha Agri Ventures would like to put forward their point. Or Mr. Ramarao. Kimba Prasant Babu, apno kichhi Prasant Satpati.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Prasant Babu.
No, I'm Ramarao.
Ramarao, please go ahead. Please.
See, I have a layman question. See, health issue is a very fundamental issue nowadays, and especially after this pandemic. So this is a very good webinar, and where Dr. Patti has delivered, as he is the best scientist in our state now, fighting a good battle for this pandemic.
Your voice is not quite audible. It's just shaky. Yep. Will you say that again, please, for all of us?
Okay, I'm putting some layman questions.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes, very loud and clear now.
Okay. See, I want to tell to the group. I'm a senior citizen.
Right.
I want to tell that the present day situation, the health issue is a very important issue, to which Dr. Patti has rightly said it has not been given due attention so far. When through these webinars, what one is, as you suggested to form a group, a think tank group, in that, first of all, you have to identify the problems. Actually, as our scientists are working hard, they must have been facing a lot of problems. But what are those problems? So if they can discuss that thing, then the people who are entrepreneurs, who have ideas and who can formulate ideas, it will be very helpful for them to enter into certain ventures, which will be really helpful for the society of Odisha. Well, that is what I want.
Yes, Mr. Rao. You are very rightly put forward there. Because of these people who are, in a higher age group, these kind of interventions are much required. And yes, technology and any new innovation in this sector would be an added benefit for your segment of people. And I think, because healthcare mostly nowadays, as we see, all the age group is now looking at such kind of intervention. I would thank Ramarao Babu to put forward his point, and anyone else, I would again request somebody, let's make it more interactive and let's share our ideas. We are here for 1 hour to talk about our ideas and our thoughts. So more we discuss, more we talk about this, more ideas would come out and more work we could do in this sector.
I just have one question for Ramarao sir, because very nicely he pointed out problems and idea must join. I mean, I fully agree with him. So can he, as from his own experience, at least tell me one problem?
Well, the most
which he thinks.
Yeah, I'm telling. The most important problem is the extension service. See, whatever you people are working, and whatever you people are finding out, that is to reach to us, to reach to the community, and that is, I think, the biggest problem nowadays. Now, unless and until your ideas are being percolated to the grassroots level, and we, the people, cooperate you, it will be the entire exercise will be futile. Well, according to your experience, what sort of hurdles you are facing, or what you need exactly, so that those who are full of ideas for entrepreneurship, they can apply their mind and they can find out certain solutions for it. That is why. I think I'm clear.
Can I ask Dr. I just saw Dr. Minati has joined us. Ma'am, can you please put forward some point of yours?
Hello. Actually, ma'am, I just now I joined. I could not know what is the context of this discussion.
No, the context is nothing, ma'am. We are gathered here today to hear out Dr. Pati. Dr. Pati is very renowned in her field. She is, head of ICNR as well. So we are discussing how we can create an entrepreneur ecosystem in medical sector. So
yes.
Our discussion.
Ma'am, this is actually I want to ask. Now we have vaccinated in all for COVID, but what about the children? For the safety of the children, what can be done for means household? How we can protect like that? I just want to ask this question. And for entrepreneurship development, what could be some small scale entrepreneurs develop based on this COVID situation, madam?
Okay, so first of all, I will answer your first question, that is protecting children. Definitely, that is one of the major concern, because we have to see whether schools can reopen and how the schools after reopening become safe and don't our own children whom we have protected for a long time don't get infected. So now we are doing a sero survey of 12 districts of Odisha. A statewide sero survey is being done. There we are including children more than 6 years old. And this sero survey will tell us an idea whether our children have been exposed already to COVID-19 or not. So this is the first, indication will give. Second would be there, if you look at adult versus children, COVID-19 has been little kind to children compared to adults. Because, for example, National Sero Survey found that around 50% of children have been exposed. But when you look at hospital admission or when you look at the severity, we did not find commensurate or that much hospitalization in pediatric age group. And third thing regarding vaccine, now Jacob Cadila has come up with vaccine, but that is more than 12 years. And young children, I think they have a good protection, I mean, innate immunity. So they need to be exposed to natural immunity, and that's better, I mean, so that's slowly exposed. But my only suggestion is that children do not get on their own. Either they will get infected from their parents, or they will get infected from their teachers, or they will get infected from their adult neighbors. So we as parents have to be more careful so that we don't unknowingly transmit, because even if you are vaccinated, you may be a carrier of the virus. You may not have the disease, but you may be a carrier. So this is how we have to be sure that how we are maintaining some, I know it's very difficult to maintain COVID appropriate behavior at home, but how do we protect our children so that they don't get infected from ourselves? And regarding this entrepreneurship, I would suggest if we can have some biodegradable mask, because people are feeling very, this disposal of this mask, disposal of this materials is going to be a big issue coming days. And second would be, how can we have some air purifier? We have designed now at RMRC a small air purifier which can, at least household transmission can be reduced, because it will kill the bacteria, kill the virus as the air moves through it, so that even if one person is infected, others do not get infected. So that is something we can think of, a lot of preventive or a lot of infection control measures, wherein the small scale entrepreneurship can play a role.
So
very nicely explained, ma'am, because we all have children and we all wonder sometime this will come. But yeah, thank you. Being a mother, I also heard. So I look forward, anybody wants to put some their views on how do we create this ecosystem of entrepreneurs and go towards making Odisha, medically or in the line of medicine, how we can make it self-reliant, focused state in this nation. Most welcome. And I think we have spoken 4 minutes more in this session, and I would like to give a sincere thanks and gratitude to OCF, Mr. Behra, who is relentlessly working to bring such minds to this platform and start something in Odisha. Odisha need to be much more empowered in state, as our Chief Minister is #1 in everything, and we all have to join hands to make Odisha as a stronger state, a state which is so sufficient. When we talk about education, 100% education should be there, and even in rural bit, health, education, lifestyle, livelihoods, social security, all these need to be taken. And if we people here sitting in this platform can do our bit, I believe that we can become a state which would be #1 in, we would just breach that gap and be there where we want to be in a few years. So with permission, and very, very thankful to all the audience who have been patiently with us for the last half an hour, for last 1 hour, I'm sorry, and give their valuable inputs, like Dr. Minati was there, Dr. Rindu Prabha was there, Dr. Meena was there, she's left. Thank you to all of you who had given your input. Mr. Ramarao who had brought a very nice point in this discussion. So what we take from this is, multiple things. And not last, but I would request, I would also like to thank Dr. Pati. What a wonderful profile and what a wonderful human being and storehouse of knowledge. Ma'am, it's such a privilege.
Thank you. I feel privileged.
What we take from here is that we will have a series of webinars which would be related to pharma. One would be related to medical equipment, then the other one, hospital management, medical tourism, and how can women come, more and more women can be entrepreneur in these sector. Also, we build a think tank who would work and an idea sharing. And Dr. Ramarao said, our problems always lead to the solutions and innovation. So we have to keep on bringing problems to this platform so that we can. So Prashant Satpati ji, can you please mute yourself? Okay, right. So thank you everyone. Very, very wonderful evening to all of you. I think rest of the weekend we all could go and enjoy with our families and work, those who are working. Bera sir, ame ethi ajiro discussion taku rakhiba agoku gote think tank jariare ei sobo point upre discussion kariba. So apana permission dele aji session taku band kariba Bera sir?
Yes, madam, I am thankful and I request the August speakers and particularly Sangamitra madam and you, since Upen Tripathi has agreed to listen, one, then some of the doctors from Hyderabad, from foreign overseas also, we have to invite them. We don't want a political issue. It's a issue of 4 to 5% speaks what we supposed to do, how to motivate people, how to handle the people so they can start small baby step. We can do a baby step so that we can make some people to convert into the hospital industries. That's my thought process. And I'm thankful to everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice evening to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
ସେଟା ଯୋଉ କଣ ସେଟା କଣ ମୁଁ ବୁଝିପାରିଲିନି ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ଲୋର ଉଠିଲା କି